All right, welcome back to Just Enough Garage. This is Austin, is Mariana's friend. They went to high school together, and actually he builds knives. He's a knife builder, and he's come over here tonight to use the welding machine to weld together, what would you call that, Austin?
This is called a Damascus billet.
And so he's drawn the way he's stationed them. You want to tell us about what kind of metal you got there?
Yeah, so what I got in here is high carbon steel, which is steel that is able to harden when it's cooled really quickly and when it undergoes a process called tempering. What this steel has is one steel has a lot of carbon in it, and the other has a little bit of nickel, which makes it acid corrosion resistant. Now, what this means is when you put all this together, you smash it, whatever. When you finally do the end process called an etch, it brings out a really dark black color on steel and a really light color because of the nickel. The nickel doesn't get touched by the acid, which creates these beautiful wavy flowing patterns in the steel.
So I put him on the spot. He does have some examples. He can bring them over at some point and show us his completed projects.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He just needed to use the welder tonight. He says, man, there's a lot of young people that may not know how to do it. I'm 50 years old, and I have never seen, other than on TV, when people make a knife or something, or YouTube or something. So it was interesting to me, and I thought, well, maybe somebody would be interested in doing it. So you're going to weld those pieces together, and then you take them home to your furnace, get them hot, hammer them out.
Yeah.
How many hours would you think it takes to make a knife?
To make a knife of this size, the one that I'm specifically making for now, I would say takes roughly about 40 hours or so.
All right.
And it really depends.
Where did you learn this from?
I mostly taught myself how to do all this.
All right. And your parents were supportive of it?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. And obviously, if somebody was to ask you how to do it, how would they get started? What would be their best approach?
Honestly, the best way to get started is just like, there's a bunch of forges online that are super cheap. I got mine for $120 off this random kind of, I imagine some Chinese site. And for an anvil, anything to hit is just any block of steel that's hard enough to work on. I mean, you can find anything from a car shop. The block of an engine would work just fine if you wanted to. Really just depends on your motivation.
So determination, motivation, labor, some sweat. Well, let's see you weld that together and see what it looks like.
Let's get this thing welded up. All right.
Oh, got a hang up here, huh?
Welded shut.
Yeah. Sometimes if this cable gets kinked, it'll do that too. Let's see if we can get it going again. So what he's saying is, you see how the wire too close, it melts there. I'll have to get the pliers. All right, so if you can get the wire with even something like this, you break it free. So the way this is a MIG welding machine, you can hear the hiss of the gas. That's shielding gas. In this case, it's an argon CO2, 75% CO2, 25% argon. I'll move the tip out a little bit. Anyways, it's shielding gas. For what he's doing, it's not really that big of a deal because it's going to go into the forge. But he wants to get all those welded together, so when he hammers on it, the sheets don't come a piece.
See if I need to go through. I think I need to go one more past metal. Okay.
Is the weld hot enough, or do you need it to be hotter? doing okay?
I think it might need to be a tad bit hotter.
So let's give you a little more juice. See how that is. You feel like you're getting enough wire out?
I'm sorry?
So you feel like you're getting enough wire in there?
Oh yeah,
All right.
definitely enough.
Yeah, it was probably set for auto body stuff. Yeah, go ahead. To know that before he welded that, he cleaned each part with acetone to get any sort of impurities out of there. So if you're hammering this together and you hadn't got the impurities,
When you do forge welding, which is the process which I'm going to do at home, you basically melt the surface of each plate and then you hit it hard enough that the two pieces become one
right?
molecularly. There's no difference between two pieces.
So it's the heat and the pressure that forces it together in the hammer. Oldest tool in the world to hammer, by the way.
Yes.
Takes care of it. Do you have a bunch of different hammers, or?
So far I have a couple of different hammers. I've been meaning to make a few more, but yes, there's a lot of different hammers with different purposes.
All right. Awesome.
And everything is a hammer.
Everything can be a hammer, yes, but that doesn't mean it can be a hammer well.
So using those big pair of vice grips there to hold them tight as we can get them, so that he doesn't have any gaps in there.
Fills in the gaps with flux, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it helps fill any gaps in
We'll
there.
have to film a piece of that so we can see what happens on this phase 2.
Prettiest welds I've ever done, but they work. So now, what I need to do...
They're pretty darn good welds.
Yes.
Where you want it?
We're just gonna see if I can stand this up right.
Oh, okay.
There we
You got
go.
a weld on his lollipop stick.
Middle side,
Right in the middle.
like
yeah.
right there.
Somewhere right there. So all these welds technically are bad for the billet because they're impurities.
Right.
But because there's so much steel, I can grind it out later, which is
All right, well, you got to start somewhere.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Now this thing should be.
Get one more side there.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Sweet. All good to go. Now this thing is still really piping hot because we just
Right.
pumped a bunch of electricity into it.
Don't touch.
Yes. It's always a very exciting drive home when you this
With the
just
stick.
massive hot piece of steel just sitting around.
So I think in one of the previous videos we talked about welding, union work, non-union work, construction work, and I think that this is a good example. You know, Austin learned some of this on his own, and if he develops this and chooses to go to a trade school or something, he's already going to be steps ahead. And I think that people who may be seeing these videos and think, hey, I could do that, you know what, you probably can, because everybody was born with the same hands. So you get an opportunity to go forward in life, you find it. And this is just hobbyist stuff, you know, but it's fun and it gets your brain involved and gets you away from the TV, gets you outside, gets you doing something different.
Yeah, gets
you
you
know?
working.
Anyways, thanks Austin for coming by, using my machine, and we
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing the finished product.
Good, thank you.